For those of you who are new here, this is called Gentle Astrology. We're talking about the spiritual lessons of Pisces by Todd Parr, a New York Times bestseller. This is Kindness, the Kindness book. If you're a parent or if you have kids that you like giving books to, I highly recommend books by Todd Parr. The vast array of topics that he covers, so creative. He's able to talk about very difficult concepts in terms that a child would understand. Pisces, I'm sorry for picking this dramatic look for you, but you know what, Pisces, you are hella dramatic. The way that I see you isn't that way. I actually see you as being like the teddy bear that you are. But we both know that there is another side. So maybe it is fitting that I chose this look. Tonight we're reading about Pisces and what Pisces is here to learn on their spiritual journey. I actually picked out a couple of books for Pisces because we have a lot of work to do, because Pisces, as you know, is the end of the cycle in astrology. So it goes from Aries and then all the way to Pisces. So when you get to Pisces, you're basically dying a spiritual death, and you're either going to be reborn as an Aries or you've completed your mission, and that's it. So it's like your last hooray before the official end. This is also why Pisces tends to be a very lackadaisical type of sign, is because they know the inevitable is near. They know the inevitable is what it is. So like, why am I going to stress myself out about something that I know that I'm dying physically and spiritually? So I know that's inevitable after this life ends. So why would I even take this seriously? As far as like trying to control it to give it a specific outcome. We never die in the sense that our spirit is still alive, but I'm talking about transitioning from the physical to the spiritual realm. So when Pisces successfully completes their spiritual mission, they transition to the spiritual realm, and they can choose to stay there. Some Pisces, because they are so generous, volunteer to come back so they can help lead the rest of us into that growth. So that is who Pisces is. They are the grandparent of the Zodiac for this reason, because they've seen it all and done it all. So the main thing with Pisces is that although they understand what being kind is, and they can tell you like, what does kindness look like, they have a hard time actually applying it across the board. And a lot of their pain and suffering comes from an unwillingness to really acknowledge their need for kindness, an unwillingness to recognize that they too are in pain, and an unwillingness to do something about that pain, which requires actually nurturing it. It's almost like a self-rejection. It's a rejection of parts of self that feel ugly, that feel scary, that feel dark. So Pisces has created an alternative reality where they can only embrace the parts of themselves that are the way that they want to be perceived, which is as a good person. But obviously, because they're a human being and they have flaws, there are other parts of them that aren't always kind, compassionate, generous, wise, caring, loving, and all of that. And truly evolved Pisces is aware of both energies and is conscientious of them. But a Pisces that is not evolved has a lot of shame about all of their being, all of their existence, all of their energy. So as a result of that, they can no longer sustain living comfortably in their skin, because now they've split into two contradictory parts that do not like each other. So because there's no longer any space, any emotional safety in that place, Pisces then creates an alternative place, a third place where they exist, which is nor with, their true selves, which is the heaven and the hell part of who they are. And evolved Pisces is able to allow themselves to experience the heaven and the hell part of who they are fully and be comfortable with it. And unevolved Pisces spends their eternity, all of eternity, basically chasing away the hell part of life, and wanting to feel nothing but joy, nothing but good feelings, nothing but good vibes, and just not wanting to actually be in reality, not wanting to deal with reality, not wanting to stomach it. So in other words, they choose that they're just not going to try, basically. So then they stop trying at life. They're merely existing, waiting to die. But they're not actually like trying to do something impressive. They're not trying to leave a mark. They're not trying to do anything meaningful. They're not actually trying to heal the people around them, which is why they were sent here. They're not actually trying to do any of that work. And it's not unusual for Pisces to make themselves the victim in their own lives, so that instead of actually doing their job that we're sent here to do, which is to heal, they become the one that everybody has to heal. When Pisces is in that energy, their self-esteem and self-worth is so incredibly low that They're basically just waiting to die, both physically and figuratively, because they have no vested interest in any of it. There's no heart in it. There's no fight in it. There's no passion for it. They're just drifting. And it's a sad thing to see, because they're here to help others, and they're so desperate to run away that they don't even care where they run to. They just care that they run away. They don't care where they run to. They don't care if where they're running is worse, if it's better. They just want to get out. They just want to run away. And it's sad, because a lot of times they end up, their running away is self-destructive, because what they're actually here to do is to deal and to cope with the cruelty of life and with the cruelty of the human nature. That's the work that they're avoiding. Pisces running away is like their forte, and they often do not care where they run to, because they're so low on themselves. They're so low on themselves. They're so down and out. They're so depressed. They've lost all perspective. Their delusion is at an all-time high. They no longer believe that they have any value whatsoever, and they start to believe that fundamentally, like, this is all that they are, and what they are is not good enough, and it's worthless, and they're just taking space in this world, and like, all of it means nothing. That is Pisces at their worst. But Pisces at their best is a healer. Pisces at their best is connected to their community. Pisces at their best is people who feel better just by being around Pisces energy, because their frequency is so high that laying eyes on them is healing. Hearing their voice is healing. Being in the same physical space with them is healing, because everything about them is about leaving the world better than they found it and making it a better place. That is where Pisces is supposed to trend, and unfortunately sometimes it trends the other way. Since the words are backwards, I'm going to read them to you, but I'll show you the imagery, okay? And it says, be kind to yourself. Pisces has a knack for being kind to everybody else in the whole world but themselves. Pisces would be kind to somebody that committed murder. Pisces would be kind to, like, the waitress. Pisces is kind to the unhoused man that sleeps outside her building. Pisces is kind to the children that are starving. Pisces is kind to every person in the world imaginable. Like, there's nothing anybody can do in this world that will make Pisces think that this person does not deserve love. They don't exist. Pisces will find a way to find something good about that person and make sure that person knows that there's still something good about them.
You can book your astrology reading at intuitivehealing.com. You can also watch videos at Intuitive Healing here on YouTube for Astrology 101 content. Listen to the Aquarius podcast on Spotify, as well as here on YouTube for your horoscope. If you're interested in astrology and love connections, you can visit at Styled Under Libra. And of course, for health and wellness and holistic healing, visit at Styled Under Virgo for all of your astrology content. Thanks so much for watching.